Can we start the session? Can we start the session?
Yes, ma'am.
Are my slides visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Are they moving?
Not moving, ma'am.
They're not in a slideshow mode.
Only first page is visible.
Okay. Let me try again. Now are they moving?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Let's start today's session. Today's session is on uh, monitoring actually. As per what is given in your timetable, it is on monitoring. Okay. Before we go in for what monitoring is all about, what to monitor, we need to know something about our rules. As biomedical waste management rules dealt for you, have you discussed on the rules? Has anybody told you anything about the
Yes,
rules?
ma'am. It's been already taught in the classroom.
It's already been taught? Okay,
Yes,
fine.
ma'am.
Then let's have a quick recap about what the rule says. Now, this is what in general we'll have a definition of biomedical waste. Where is it applied? What are the other important definitions? Duties of an occupier and the operator also. Annual report, record maintenance, the forms and the schedules, and what are the new points under BMW rules. So this actually came notified in 2016 under the EPA Act. According to the rule, biomedical waste means, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, according to the Definition: biomedical waste means any waste that is generated during diagnosis, treatment, or immunization of human beings or animals or research activities pertaining thereto, or in the production or testing of biological or in health camps. Right? This is what the definition says. To whom all it is applicable? It is applicable to any hospitals, any nursing homes, clinics, dispensaries, veterinary institutions, animal house, pathological laboratories, blood banks, clinical establishments, research or educational institution, forensic laboratories, research labs. Then the ones what you're seeing in the red are the new ones which have been added. Ayush hospitals, health camps that would include both medical and surgical camps, vaccination camps, blood donation camps, first aid rooms of the schools. All these are something which they have added newly in 2016. Okay, so earlier, whenever there is a camp that was conducted, they were whoever is conducting the camp were not responsible for the biomedical waste that is generated in the camp. And also, there are some schools who have a first aid room, and even these waste that is generated in this first aid room is also not taken care of. So therefore, all these things also come under biomedical waste. They come under the ambit of the BMW rules of 2016. What do I mean by an occupier? An occupier means a person having administrative control over the institution and the premises generating biomedical waste. That would include a hospital or a nursing home or a healthcare facility or any diagnostic facility or a pathological laboratory, irrespective of whatever system of medicine they are following and by whatever name they are called. Anybody who is generating uh, any institution which is generating biomedical waste, and the administrative head of that particular institution is an occupier. So, what is the duties of this occupier? Occupier means any institution you're working. Suppose you're working in a hospital, then the administrative head, the medical superintendent, or the director, or whoever it is, the name, they are the ones who will be held responsible for anything that happens with regard to biomedical waste. They are the ones who are supposed to provide all the facilities that are necessary for safe and safe disposal of biomedical waste that is generated in their premises. Okay. Now the salient features are it should have the duties of an occupier is they should provide a final storage room, phase out, that means stop using any chlorinated plastic bags, gloves, or blood bags, provide training to healthcare facilities and also keep a record of it, immunize all the health workers with tetanus and hepatitis B vaccine, ensure that occupational safety of all the healthcare facilities is followed by providing them personal protective equipment. They have to conduct health checkup of the health workers and keep a record and establish barcode based software system. So these are the duties of a occupier. Okay, and there are other things also, like say display the waste management monthly record on the healthcare facilities website, report major accidents, report to the state pollution control board in case of irregular visit of the common biomedical waste treatment facility, form a biomedical waste management committee and hold at least biannual meetings. That means at least twice a year they have to meet, and the containers have to be bought and need to be properly labeled. So this is the example of a waste management committee. You have the medical superintendent or the nursing superintendent. You need to have a nurse, infection control nurse or epidemiologist, a medical director or an administrative head, members from the other departments, store in charge, sanitary supervisor, and hospital nodal officer for waste management. All these people, this is an example for hospitals which are more than 30 bedded. Okay. And one more thing, what is more important for any healthcare facility is the authorization. Authorization from the pollution, the state pollution control board or the control authority, whoever is there for them. So permission has to be granted by them for generation, collection, reception, storage, transportation, treatment, and disposal of biomedical waste. So every occupier or an operator, whoever is handling the biomedical waste, irrespective of the quantity, they'll have to make an application form to the per state pollution control board, submit it, and get the authorization. It's only one time authorization for a non bedded occupier. That means if you have a diagnostic facility where there are no beds, then once if you take the authorization, it will be more than sufficient. Now, every occupier, operator means a person who is operating a common biomedical waste treatment facility. Okay. Uh, any occupier or an operator, they have to submit an annual report to the prescribed authority in the Form 4 or on or before 30th of June every year. And they also have to display this annual report on the website, and they have to make their own website within 2 years. What are the details that are there in the annual report is quantity of the general waste that is generated on a monthly basis, size and capacity of the on-site storage room, minutes of the meeting of the biomedical waste management committee, details of the biomedical waste training that is conducted in the healthcare facility, details of any major accidents that have occurred during the year, liquid waste treatment methods in place. These are some of the things that they would look at in the annual report. And in every authorized healthcare facility will maintain some records. The records that they need to maintain are records pertaining to quantum of the waste that is generated, how is the collection done, where is the reception and storage point there, how is it being transported, and treatment and disposal of any other form of handling of biomedical waste. And all these records should be maintained for a period of at least 5 years. That means anybody can come and ask you for the records, you should be able to provide it. Now, what are the different forms that are there? Is Form 1 is for accident reporting. Form 2 is application for authorization or renewal of authorization. Give me a minute. Hello, are we there? Form 3 is for authorization. Form 4 is annual report, and Form 5 is filing of appeal. Now, there is the Schedule 2, which is also there in the biomedical waste management rules. The schedule is meant for standards. What standards are necessary for incinerator, standards for plasma pyrolysis or gasification, standards for autoclaving, for microwaving, for deep burial, and for efficacy of chemical disinfection, dry heat sterilization, and standard for liquid waste management. These are all the standards that are described in Schedule 2. In Schedule 3, there's a list of prescribed authorities and their corresponding duties. And this is the label for biomedical waste management containers, which is also given in the rule. Okay. Now, if you do not comply with the rules, what is going to happen is also mentioned, which they say is a punishable one with imprisonment, which may extend up to 5 years, or the fine, which may extend up to 1 lakh rupees, or you can also have both. This is the penalty that we generally see. And the most common observed violations are mixing up of biomedical waste with general waste, mismatch of color coded bags and containers, and also poor segregation, improper transportation of biomedical waste, open burning, mix of general healthcare waste and animals feeding on it, handing over of this plastic waste to unauthorized person. What we need to remember in these rules is the rules are no longer new. You have to understand that there's one time authorization for non bedded healthcare facilities, and the biomedical waste is classified into four categories based on the treatment options, that is, the red, yellow, blue, and white translucent. And Pre-treatment of laboratory waste, microbiological waste, blood samples and blood bags are a must. That means even if there is a small diagnostic lab which is running test, should have a waste autoclave and should be pre-treating their samples before they are giving it to the common treatment facility. You have to phase out, that means stop using chlorinated plastic bags, gloves and blood bags. You have to establish a barcoded system or containers, and there is a report the major accident. There should be a biomedical waste management committee if the hospital is more than 30 bedded. In less than 30 bedded hospital, you need to designate a nodal officer. Training of healthcare workers you need to do, and you also need to keep the records. You have to immunize the health workers with tetanus and hepatitis B vaccine, and there should be a provision of final storage room within the healthcare facility, and no untreated waste to be stored beyond 48 hours. No on-site treatment and disposal facility is allowed if there is a service of common biomedical waste treatment facility available within 75 kilometers. Right? Can anybody? Uh, yes, I would want a few of you to give me a quick recap of the rules. Yes. Do you have monitoring systems in your own hospitals? Is anybody involved in monitoring? Yes. I need some response here. Is anybody involved in monitoring? Do you monitor the healthcare waste management systems in your hospitals, or is there a system of monitoring in your own hospitals? I want a few of them to share. How do you know whether your systems are working properly or not? How do you find out? Yes, if there is no response, then I will simply sit here. I need a response from your side. Yes? Come on. I need some response here. If there's no response, then I wouldn't want to continue with me alone talking is not good. I need somebody to respond to know whether you are there or you're not there.
I'm not belonging to it.
Hmm?
I'm different to health industry.
I can't hear you.
I'm different industry. I'm not into.
Yes, tell me. Some other team does. Are you a part or you're not a part? That is what I want to know. If you're not a part, at least does your hospital do it? I'm not into hospital. Okay, fine. What about the others who are there in the hospital? Even if you're not in the hospital, would you want to monitor things? Would you want to know whatever systems you have set up, whether they are working properly or not? How will I know? So for that, what will I do? How will I know whether the systems that I have put in place Last session we were talking about
Audits,
establishing,
ma'am. Or
yes,
by doing a routine audits.
routine audits. So how do you go about doing the routine audits? What all will you take into consideration for you to look at for routine audits? I mean, it just cannot be like routine means uh, how?
We'll check for the proper storage and segregation is being
Uh,
done in the hospital or not. Of the
okay.
waste.
Where do you check for it? Where do you check for it, and how do you check for it? You're right in telling we'll check for whether there is proper storage or segregation that is there in the hospital or not. Very good. But I want to know where and how exactly do you check for these things? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It is nice that we check for uh, these things, but then I want to know how will you go about checking it? Is there a person who's in charge for it, or is there a committee that looks after it? How do you do it? That is my question. Is it like randomly one person goes and then just says, okay, you're doing good, or how exactly do you go about it? That's my question.
Generally, there will be biomedical waste management committee must be there in a hospital, or
Mm-hmm.
they must be doing the documentation also, that how much waste is generated, how it is stored.
Mm.
We can go and check the
Mm.
documentation also, and
Ah, yes.
in
Mm.
uh,
Documentation, yeah. Then what else do you check for? Is it okay just to look for documents and then say that whatever they're doing is good? Are we justified in doing that?
we can look on ground also if the storage boxes are there with
Mm-hmm.
properly marked.
Mm.
The proper storage baggages are there with the color
Mm.
coding.
Mm. Mm. So we need to also look at what is happening on the ground. Just by looking at the documents, we only get one part of the story. Okay. Then what else? How do you have a checklist? Do you find something that you have a checklist? Because sometimes we tend to forget what we need to do, isn't it? So how will I know? Then is there a checklist that you follow so that it is easy for everybody to be on the same page? In the sense, whatever is good for you is also good for others. Whatever is bad for you is also bad for the others. In the sense, when you are evaluating it, there is a clear cut definition of what is good, what is correct, what is bad. Is there something like that?
Will no ma'am, will go with the biomedical rules which are given by the government of India 2016.
Very good. But then government of India rules say certain things, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So how exactly are you going to look at whether they are following the same rules as specified by government of India? Just now I said, now what are the components of the biomedical waste management? You look at the components. First one is
Uh,
collection, segregation, storage, transportation. There are two kinds of transportation. One transportation is within the hospital, another transportation is outside the hospital to the common treatment facility. Okay, now there are different places where these processes will have to happen in a hospital. So, how many such places are you going to look for? And how will you decide how good is the hospital in its performance of waste management? if I find the, if I suppose there is this what is that, casualty, which is not doing the waste management properly, can I say that the whole of the hospital is not doing properly because the casualty does not maintain the it is not good at maintaining biomedical waste, and it doesn't follow the segregation is not followed appropriately in uh, this place? Can I say that? Did you get my point? If there are 10 places in the hospital, if how many places are you going to consider that the segregation practices and other things are good? How will you do that? Is there an objective measurement, or is it, do we go by, okay, this is good, this is nice, there is that how we go? I hope I've made the thing clear as to what I want you to look at. Yes, no, nobody is there to answer. Come on, you are going in the right direction. Can you please elaborate? There are times how you can do it. Yes. See, whenever you're looking at monitoring, you need to be as objective as possible, because what is good for me may not be good for you, right? Or what is good for you, I may say it is not at all good. So what I do is I have an objective measurement of scale. I look at in how many bins the segregation is not proper. Based on that, I can give a score, and then get add that score and make it so this is the score of this particular hospital. And you can also compare the previous score to the present score in each of those areas to see whether they have improved or not. So what is the idea of monitoring for us? To see that they follow, to address any of the issues that are there for them to follow. And once the systems are put in place, I need to see whether the systems are working properly or not. Is there an improvement that has happened or not? Right? These are the two or three things that we need to look at. Now, for me to say there is an improvement, I need to have a measurement objective score. Say, for example, if there is a under 5 child, a 5 year or a 2 year old child, the mother comes and tells you that the child is not eating properly, and so there is no weight gain or the weight loss is there. Once the first time you the child and the mother come, you record the weight and then record the measurements. The next time when the mother comes back to the same complaint, you can record the child's weight and then say, see, there is a difference. Either it has grown, or either it has improved, or it has not improved, or it has lost further weight, or it has improved the weight. So for that, you need to have an objective measurements for monitoring also. Even that can be done by giving some amount of score for the uh, segregation practices. So can we give a score for even the transportation and collection and transport facilities that are there in the hospital? Yes. Can I give some kind of a score and say, okay, if yes, can somebody respond?
Yes, ma'am, we can give a score
We
for
can give a score for that transportation also, and then say, okay, if the transportation is intact, then I can give the score, right?
yes, ma'am.
So some amount of what you call an objective measurement is there. so that everybody is assured. So tomorrow they cannot say that, madam, you are partial to this site, you are partial to that site because you have one of your own nurses who is present there. You like them, you don't like them. These kind of things should not come. So objective scores can be given for transportation. You can give objective scores for your storage area and for collection. For everything you can have a score, and then compile it and compare it also. Each time you say, for example, first time you do, you will find lot of people do not know certain things. Then you train them, right? You train them and say you have to do like this. And then after a month of training, then you have to go back and check whether they have really followed it and how much of that is being followed. And at the same time, you also need to provide them with the facilities of what needs to be done. Okay, so these are some of the things which we need to keep in mind when we are monitoring. Then apart from this, how frequently should we monitor? How frequently should we monitor? Yes.
Daily basis.
Right, somebody was telling me something. Yes. Yes, where were we? Can somebody tell me?
Ma'am, we have to regular check daily basis.
We, how frequently do we have to do the monitoring? Yes, thank you so much. What is the frequency with which we need to monitor?
Weekly or monthly, ma'am?
Weekly or monthly? Okay, fine. Both are fair. Both you can do. You can do it weekly. You can also do it monthly. What is the advantage of doing it monthly, and what is the advantage of doing it weekly? If I do it weekly, what are the advantages I'll have? If I do it monthly, what are the advantages I'll have? Or there are no advantages at all? Yes. Weekly has got some advantages. Monthly has got some advantages. Weekly in the sense, if there is anything that is found, immediately you can attend to it, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Weekly. If it is monthly, then you'll have to wait for a month for you to address it. So in that way, you have the advantages of doing it in a weekly. But if you feel that weekly is necessary, you can do it. If you feel there are systems in place and things are settled, you don't need to do the training and retraining every time, then maybe monthly is also fair enough. Or fortnightly, that means once in 15 days is also fair enough for you to do it. Have a checklist, look at each bin. What is the segregation that is there? Is there a mix up in yellow bin? Is there a mix up in red bin? Is there a mix up in blue bin, or the needle? So you need to specifically look at it. Now, as part of the, this is what you do it in a single hospital, in your own hospital. Suppose if you were to be a part of a committee at the district level or something, how will you monitor the all the hospitals that will come under you? Who is supposed to monitor? Does the rule say anything about monitoring of these all the hospitals and the common treatment facility? Does the rule mention anything of that sort, or it doesn't say anything? Yes, anybody who has read through the rules can tell me, does the biomedical waste management rule specify about monitoring of facilities Yes, can somebody help me out? Does the rule specify anything? Does the rule talk about anything about monitoring? Come on, I need you people to answer me, or else I'm not going to go further. Please, is there a monitoring committee at the district level? Does the rule say anything about monitoring of biomedical waste management at the different districts? What we spoke just now is just about one hospital. Can somebody help me out here? Okay, let's look at the monitoring framework for implementation, how exactly this monitoring is going to happen. Now, there's the Central Pollution Control Board, which has provided guidelines for effective implementation of biomedical waste management rules 2016. There are guidelines for management of healthcare waste in healthcare facilities as per the rules. There's revised guidelines for common biomedical waste treatment and disposal facilities. The guidelines for verification of 2 seconds distance time in the secondary combustion chamber of the biomedical waste incinerator. The guidelines for imposition of environmental compensation against HCFs and common biomedical waste treatment facilities. Guidelines for handling of biomedical waste for utilization. For barcode system, there's guidelines for everything, how to go about management of biomedical waste generated during a universal immunization program. Guidelines for mercury that is generated from healthcare facilities, and regarding COVID-19, and also monitoring the performance of common biomedical waste treatment by the state pollution control boards. Now, if you look at the waste management here, it is just not the hospitals that are involved. You also have the common biomedical waste treatment facility where the treatment and disposal happens. So even they also need to be monitored whether they are doing appropriately or not, whether they are following the rules or not. So even they need to be monitored. So and they also, as per the rules, even the common biomedical waste treatment facilities also have certain uh, guidelines that they need to follow. So those guidelines, whether we need to know whether they are doing it as per the guidelines. So who is the prescribed authority for monitoring is for healthcare waste is one. It is a self-monitoring by common biomedical waste treatment facilities and the healthcare facilities. How every common biomedical waste treatment facility is connected to the state pollution control board, where the incineration temperatures and the temperatures of the autoclaves are recorded and are transmitted to the state pollution control boards online. So they can check the temperatures of the incinerator, and at the same time, as you said, healthcare facilities can monitor regularly the segregation practices and other things. Similarly, the common biomedical waste treatment facility should also monitor their stack emissions, that is the gaseous emissions that comes out of their incinerators. They have to maintain the results of the any analysis of this gaseous emissions that have been done. They also need to look out for dioxins and furans that they can do it once a year. So the operator will have the continuous emission monitoring system for the parameters as stipulated by the State Pollution Control Board, and there is a real-time data that is being sent to the State Pollution Control Board. Now, for a healthcare facility, they have to establish a system, review and monitor the activities related to biomedical waste management, either through an existing committee or by forming a new committee, and the committee shall meet once in every 6 months. And they have to record the minutes of the meetings, and these minutes should be submitted to the annual report along with the annual report. And they should be having less than 30 beds shall designate a qualified person to review and monitor the activities related to biomedical waste management. So, as per the Green Tribunal, they have requested CPCB to prepare a standard monitoring framework. And in this standard monitoring framework, this is what they have looked at. How much is the biomedical waste generation and treatment gap analysis at the state level? Compliance of monitoring of existing common biomedical waste treatment by state pollution control board and central pollution control board. Frequency of monitoring, development of a web portal for tracking of biomedical, integration of online monitoring of waste collection and various reports. Now, the areas in which they look at by the common treatment facility is what is the frequency which they are collecting the waste? Are they giving receipts or not? Are they wearing the personal protective equipment? How is it being transported? Whether the waste is being tracked? How is it being handled at the common biomedical waste treatment facility? And whether they are compliant with all the norms that they need to be. So these are the things which are looked for common biomedical waste treatment facilities. Whether the infrastructure is there, they have vehicles, what is their area of operation, is the incinerator a single chamber one or a double chambered one, do they have an anti-pollution control devices that have been installed, how is the waste being received from the healthcare facilities at the common biomedical waste treatment facility, how are they handling the treated waste in that CBWTF. This is what they look for. Okay. And just as the healthcare facility, even the common biomedical waste treatment facility also should be maintaining their records for more than 5 years, just as the healthcare facility. It is essential for a requirement on part of the CBWTF to report any compliance to rules to the service provider. Say, for example, I'll tell you, even in the rules, it is mentioned that if the common biomedical treatment facility does not come to pick up the waste from the healthcare facility, the occupier has a right to report against the CBWTF against the operator to the common treatment facility. So to the State Pollution Control Board. Similarly, if an operator finds that an occupier is not really segregating the waste properly, then even then the operator has a right to go and complain against the healthcare facility to the State Pollution Control Board. So therefore, it is necessary that both of them compile or comply with the rules that are there. The healthcare facility should segregate, and the common treatment facility should come on time to pick up the segregated waste and maintain the segregation till final treatment and disposal. Right? So data is essential for the state pollution control boards, and also you will find the gaps in waste generation and disposal. So as per the healthcare facilities, what are the things just now we discussed? One is the segregation and storage practices. Intramural, that is how the waste is being transported within the hospital, reporting of the data, and monitoring of any captive treatment facilities. If there's any in-house facilities, we need to check that. So there is this checklist for performance evaluation of the common biomedical waste treatment facility and disposal facility that is there. And this is presented in 2018. And one more thing, what is do you know that at every district there is a district monitoring committee? Are you aware? Are you aware that at every district there is a district monitoring committee? Have you heard about anything by name as district monitoring committee?
Yes, ma'am, we have heard about it.
You have heard about it. This district monitoring committee, who are the representatives for the district monitoring committee? Can anybody tell me? Who are the members of the district monitoring committee?
CMO of the civil hospital, ma'am.
Not just
Probably.
the CMO. Can you give me a minute? It is just not the CMO of the civil hospital. You have members from NGO. You have members from any of the NGO working the waste management. You have the district magistrate, the district health officer, and representatives from the pollution control board, representatives from the hospitals, IMA, and also any other NGO that is working in the area of biomedical waste. So all these people form a group they call as the district monitoring committee. Ideally speaking, it is the state pollution control board who is in charge or who has the authority to monitor both the common treatment facilities uh, mm, as well as the healthcare facilities for compliance for rules. They are supposed to do it. But if you look at any of the state pollution control boards, they are short staffed. They don't have so many people to do all these things. So therefore, they would have outsourced it to somebody, or there are other mechanisms by which they tend to monitor it. One is an online monitoring of the things that is done as I was speaking. They will also, apart from this, they also need to develop a complaint redressal mechanism through web portal or any other mobile app. If you remember during COVID times, you used to fill in the data in that app and then send it across to the state pollution control boards. And they also local intelligence room field staff are there, which conduct periodic random checks, and imposition of environmental compensation charges are also done. So Rule 4 of BMW rules, they stipulate that it is a duty of every healthcare facility to establish a barcode system for bags or containers containing biomedical waste to be sent out of the premises or place for any. Rule 5, both it is, see, if you look at the rule, the barcoding system has to be developed by both the healthcare facility as well as the common treatment facility. So many times it is the state pollution control board will generally look at how we can try and get these two people on board for us to have a common understanding of establishing a barcoding system. Anybody who has had any experience in establishing barcoding system?
No, ma'am.
Who
No.
have been no anybody who has yes. So there are phases because there are problems because the common treatment facility people think that it is the right or it is the healthcare facility which has to invest in it, and the healthcare facility thinks that it is a common treatment facility person who has to invest in it. The problem is if the software which has been installed doesn't gel with both of them, then the whole thing is defeated. So therefore, the purpose is defeated. So therefore, it is better that both of them uh, comply with each other and try to have a common understanding so that they can establish a common uh, barcoding system which is of utility, and where there can be some amount of tracking that can happen. Okay, so one of the major problems which we found many times in monitoring is people don't comply with the rules. Most of the hospitals, and anywhere you have found any such kind of deviation of the rules in any of the hospitals? Can you give me any examples where you have observed it yourself? Nobody has observed it. Nobody has observed any deviation in the rules. I gave you examples also. I gave you examples where people falter whenever they are trying to do biomedical waste, especially the segregation part of it. Can you remember? Yes. What happens if you have a mismatch of color codes that are there? Have you observed this anytime? I showed you some pictures. Sometimes you have yellow color container but with black color lining, or there will be red container with yellow color lining. So I'm not sure which kind of waste that I need to put here, whether it is yellow color one or is it the red color one, right? So such kind of mistakes you generally find. So to avoid it, it is better we need to follow the color coding correctly. Yes. Okay, I have finished my presentation. Is there any doubts that you want to ask me? Because this presentation was only for monitoring. Now, what are the for us to monitor? We need to know what the rule says, and based on the rules, we need to go about it, whether they are compliant with the rules or not. Is anybody would like to ask any questions?
Ma'am, you told us about the specific marks we can give them
Ah,
based on the rules they are following.
hmm.
So, can you please elaborate it? What kind of marks out of
Okay,
how
see, it's not like marks in the sense, it's not like okay, let me tell you. Say for example, I you come and inspect one segregation facility. Let's assume this. And in any point of generation, how many color codes we require? Four, right? There should be an yellow bin, there should be a red bin, there should be a blue bin, and there should be a white translucent bin for needles, isn't it?
Yes,
Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Agreed. So if I want to really check whether the segregation, now let's understand segregation is the key here. It's the heart and soul of any waste management practices that we do. So if I want to know whether the segregation is appropriate or not, my first dictum here is I should not find any biomedical waste in the general waste category. Am I right?
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So I should not find. Suppose I find any biomedical waste in the general waste category, I can put a 0, irrespective of the other waste being we segregated very well. But the very fact that there is a contamination of the common healthcare, sorry, biomedical waste in the common general waste category, I would not give any marks to that particular station wherever it is. Okay. The first dictum what I find is the color code should be fine. The containers, the liners and the containers should be matching. It should not be different color container with a different color liner, and they should all have biohazard symbols. Right? This is the outside appearance of it. Inside, when you look at it, first, if you look at the yellow bin, there should yellow bin. What are the waste that should be there in the yellow bin? Can somebody elaborate?
Contaminated waste.
Contaminated, infectious waste, isn't it? So I should not find plastics in yellow bin. See, anything that goes into the yellow bin goes to the incinerator, right? So in the yellow bin, there should be least amount of contamination or mix up of waste that I should see. I can give maximum 4 marks or 5 marks or whatever it is if the segregation is perfect. That means there's no mix up in yellow bin, there's no mix up in red bin, there's no mix up in blue or the white translucent one which is meant for shafts. If I find this intact, if I find this perfect, for example, you can say 10 marks or 5 marks or 4 marks. Okay, now next, if I find mix up of waste in yellow bin, you reduce the marks. If I find mix up of waste in any bin, it could be yellow bin, I'll reduce it by a large extent. If 10 is the maximum marks, then if there is a mix up of waste in the yellow bin, something which is not to be incinerated is in the yellow bin, then I am going to give it less marks. I'll say I would give it only 5 marks for segregation. If I find that my yellow bin is also not properly segregated, my red bin also there is a mix up of waste, blue bin also there is a mix up of waste or a combination. There are 2 bins where the mix up of waste is happening. Apart from the yellow bin, remove the yellow bin apart. So if there is a mix up of waste in red bin as well as in blue bin, or blue bin as well as the white translucent one, then I reduce it to some more points. Say if I might give it 8 marks. If 10 is the maximum, I'll give it 8 marks. Right? If I find a mix up in all the 3 bins, then I give it less marks. Say instead of 5 what I had given for yellow bin mix up, I can give it to 4 or 3. Is that clear? Have I clarified?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So you tend to, and at each station you tend to add up this scores and then you will get a final score. Divide it by number of stations you have seen, then you get the efficiency there. So this can be an objective measurement telling that how good the segregation systems are. Similarly, you can give scores for transportation. If there is no spill, you give 2 marks or 5 marks are up to you. If there is a spill during transportation, everything is coming out, then you give 2 marks or 1 mark or however it is. It's up to you to grade that. So in that way, you are objectively telling it. You are objectively specifying what is it that you're monitoring and how you are monitoring and how you are scoring them, whether they're doing good or whether they're not doing good. Have I made myself clear or you need some more elaboration? It's okay. I can give you.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Understood? All right. So this is easy in the sense the partiality or the biases can be avoided. Yeah. Anybody has any other questions to ask me? Yes? Any other questions you would like to ask me?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Can we call it a day?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. Anybody has anything else? Any clarification?
No,
All
ma'am.
right. If there's nothing, no. Okay. Then I'll leave the call. I'll call it a day. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.